Alright, so that was done. And then let's go over here to open up the pipe fittings and check this one as well. The 3D view. Now we need to organize this. So let me just open up the dynamo and put it over here to the side. And then, alright, there we go. And for the next step, I'll go up to the library, and this time I'll look for schedule sorting and grouping. Now this gives us this tool that uses the practical beam package, and we can open it up. It's one of the most useful packages you can find in the Dynamo. So we'll connect the two schedule views, and then we have the parameter name, which we can open up a string for and connect it to that. Inside of the string, I'll write type, which is what we use to do the sorting. I'll connect that to the parameter name, and then the next parts that we have are blank line, footer count, footer title, header, and sort order. If you remember, these are the exact parameters in the schedule. So the blank line is the space that we have between the lines. Footer count and title are regarding the footer settings, and the rest are self-explanatory. So for this part, I'll add a bool here and put it on true and connect it to the blank line. Then using Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V, I'll copy the bool, this time putting it false and connecting that to the footer count. We can also connect the title to it as well, and the header. Then the sort order is actually discussing whether the sorting will be done ascending or descending. Now it doesn't have anything as a preset, so we'll create a string for it and typing ascending inside of it and connect it to the sort order. Now I'll run, and then we just have to wait for the process to be done. Alright, now we can see the sorting has been done, and we also need to see a blank line here as well. Let me open the sorting and the grouping tab in the schedule properties to check this out. Alright, so I put this based on type, and the preset settings are on ascending. Alright, close this to see where the problem is in the script of the Dynamo. Alright, let's do something. Let's put the lacing of this on the longest option, press run, and we should get the results now because everything is fine. This is in order to assess all of the resolutions. That's where the problem was probably coming from. So we just have to wait for the process to be finished. Alright, and now as you can see, we have the schedule sorted here, and we just have to check to see it's right here, the blank line that separates the different parts. And if we go over to the sorting and grouping tab, we can see it's sorted by type and it's ascending, and the blank line box is checked as well. So the process that we did right now is something that can be repeated in each one of your projects. We just have to make the script, and then you can run it and adjust it to your liking. But now I want to control the formatting window. Now let's see where that is. It's right here, the schedule properties, and then under it we have the formatting window. And the fields that we have are type, size, length, system type, and name. And we want to adjust these from the Dynamo. So now I'll go over to the library in the Dynamo and search for schedule formatting, which uses the same practical beam package. And when we open it up, we can see we have all of the options and the parameters presented here. So firstly, the schedule connects to here, and then we have the parameter name, which we can adjust to our own preference. For this, I'll copy and paste the code block down here, and then I can change the names. As the example for now, I'll only keep the type, size, and length, and select and delete the rest. Then the next part is the column heading. I want to adjust this same as the last one, but the code block can actually support the both of them. So I'll create a list here to control them. Let me first run this quickly in order to demonstrate this. We just have to wait for the process to be confirmed and finished. Alright, so now that that's done, we can open up the list and see. So we have three names in the code block, which we can connect to the list, and from the other side connect it to the parameter name and the column heading. I'll press run to see how it turns out like. And the process is taking such a long time because the number of the objects is high. Alright, there we go. It says a function, so it hasn't accepted the command. So let's see where the problem is. So we'll go up here to see the schedule view, and it says it's level 2 here. So we'll go back to the schedule formatting and set the parameter name on level 2, and the same for the column heading, and press run. Alright, it's fine up to this point. Now we just have to finish the rest of the list. So in the next part, we'll have to adjust the hidden setting. In order to do that, first I'll create a bool here, put it on false, and then connect the hidden to it. Alright, and then let's see what we have after that. The next parameter that we'll need to adjust is the heading orientation. I think because we've selected 3 here in the code block, let me disconnect and connect this once again to the hidden, and then I'll create a code block and write horizontal inside of it. Make sure to put in the quotation marks and the semicolon as well. Then we'll connect that to the heading orientation, and then we get to the next code block. Inside of this one, we can write center, which is their alignment. So we'll connect that to here, and the width of the columns is next. Now in order to control this, we can create a code block here, put in a bracket inside of it, and then put in whatever amounts I want to put in, and then adjust it later on if you want to as well. So as the first example, I'll put in 0.07, which are the amounts for the parameters. After that, another one, 0.07, and then 10, and then connect it to the column width. And the last part here, as you can see, is totals. Now in the code block, as it's apparent, we have the type, size, and length. So I'll get a copy of that and bring it down here. Now inside of the code block, I'll edit the type to false. Then put in false once again instead of the size this time. And then for the length, let's go with true. And then I'll connect that to the totals. And then for all the different parameters, we'll right click and select the use levels box. And then we can run it to see if we can get the results or not. Let's see what happens. Alright, it gave us null here. And the reasoning for this probably that I made these all separate. So first I'll get a copy of the code block and bring it down here, and then we can right click on the schedule formatting itself and change the lacing to, and I'd forgotten to make this as well, the code block and the list as you can see here, and these are put on center and center in this code block, and this one's fine as well. So now let's go over to the Revit to check the schedule out and see what we have. Alright, it all seems fine. And There we go. Now in the next part, we can get the preferred data that we want, for example, the schedules and then the columns. But first, let's go over here to the library and look for schedule is, and I just have to find it, which one of these it is. Let's see. It's not this one, and then schedule is,